that stuff. But here's where I want to get to. I want to get to this idea here. Okay? Part 4, Lord, this is going to be good to me. Part 4 of what we're going to be talking about in our series of good boundaries and goodbyes. God gave me something specific to share today. And I want you to lean in. I really do. I really want you to lean in because I think that this is going to, I pray I should say that this is going to be helpful. We're going to talk about rebounding from rejection. We're going to talk about rebounding from rejection. Rebounding from rejection. So we've been journeying through this idea of good boundaries, goodbyes. We've been going back and forth. And as we have been interchangeably going in between the two, something has become painstakingly clear for me. And that is this. All of us, I think, would agree that we don't want a normal life, right? Anybody want a normal life? Just regular, just straight up regular. Nobody wants a normal life. Right? Nobody wants a normal life. Normal, we don't want a mediocre life. Normal is mundane. Normal is mediocre. Normal is average. It's actually quite popular, though. Most people live a normal life. Normal is the prevailing disposition of most people. But that's not us. That's not us because if you're like me, you're allergic to average. Somebody say I'm allergic to average. I'm allergic to it. Like, I break out in hives when people around me are mediocre. Like, it's just, my stomach start hurting. Something, it's just, it doesn't work right? The mediocrity gives me a headache or something like that. We don't want average. We don't want normal. We don't want mediocre. We actually want abnormal. We want extraordinary. We want exemplary. We want unique. And we want epic. Somebody say epic. We all want to experience an epic life. Here's the definition of epic. Watch this. I'm going somewhere. Epic is to extend beyond the usual or the ordinary. It is to extend beyond the usual or the ordinary. We want an epic life. Jesus didn't die for us to have a normal life. I promise you he didn't. He didn't die for us to have a regular life. He didn't die for us. He died for us to have an abundant life, an epic life, a life maximized, a life to the full, an abundant life. However, I'm turning the corner, does not mean an easy life. This means that there will be times where we are faced with the reality of hurt, the reality of relational trauma, the reality of family feuds. I caught somebody right there. The reality of professional pouts, the reality of church troubles, and the reality of friendly fires. All of these things are possible in our abundant life. Oh boy. It's possible to grasp this idea when we realize that if we want to experience a good life, we have to embrace a good bye. If we want to live a good life, we've got to master the art of extending and embracing goodbyes. Listen, y'all ain't saying nothing, but this is good to me. If we want to live a good life, an abundant life, an epic life, we've got to master the art of extending and embracing goodbyes. If we want an epic life, we must not only embrace entrances, we must embrace exits. We want to live an epic life, an abundant life, a life to the full, a maximized life. We must not only embrace entrances, we got to embrace exits. You have to embrace them. Ooh. We've got to embrace entrances, yes, but we also have to embrace exits, right? It's the exits that eat us up. There's no master class on the art of handling exits. There's no exit etiquette courses online, right? Sign up today, how to leave, how to get out of something. There's no class. We go through life and we do the best we can. We are not only going to look at some not only are we going to look at entrances, that's good, but we're going to deal with the exits. We've got to learn the beauty of exits. We're going to deal with how to handle it. How do you handle exits that's outside of your control? How do you handle when you got to say goodbye to something you don't want to say goodbye to? How do you handle saying goodbye when you know you need to say goodbye, but you don't want to say goodbye? How do you handle saying goodbye to something that you know you should be saying goodbye to? This ain't no good for me. I just love it. I thought I would get an amen there. That's all right. It's cool. It's cool. We'll see what we got, right? So we've got to deal with this idea of goodbyes and exits, and we're going to deal with how to handle that, and we'll touch it a little bit. I want us to also think through this idea of the reality of being rejected in the goodbye. So we always think in terms of, when I say saying goodbye, the first thing most of us think is we're the ones saying goodbye to some things. But what do you do when some things say goodbye to us? So we love to be in the position of authority. The position of authority is, oh, that's it. Cutting them off. I'm done. 2023, you don't want to see me. 2023 gonna be a new me. Get ready, it's coming. A few more weeks. Your whole timeline. 2023, you don't even gonna see me. I can't even see me. I can't even, right? 2023, the devil mad at me, right? All of this. Because we like to be in the position of the cutoff. This is the cancel culture. We cut everything off. We do the cutting off. What do you do when you get cut off? How do you handle rejection? How do you deal with the reality of being rejected? Rejection, check this out, it's right on the screen. Rejection is the act of refusing to accept, use, or believe someone or something. Refusing to accept. How do you feel when you don't feel like you're accepted? How do you feel when you feel like you've been used? How do you feel when everything you try to do to be accepted is rejected? I'm not just talking about relationships, y'all. I'm talking about life. This can span into any area of life. It can be in your job. It can be in the ideas that you have and you present it to people because you got this thing burning on your heart, but they don't have the same energy you got about it, right? Right? Rejection can hurt. And watch this, rejection can haunt us. It's not just that rejection hurts, rejection haunts. Think about it, you can get rejected. The fellas, they're not gonna say anything. I'm gonna just look right here in the camera. Listen, when one of the primary things that men deal with, ladies, y'all might not know this, but maybe you do, is the fear of rejection. In or outside of marriage. Oh, yeah. Why he always trying to talk to her? I mean, or them, or that person. Why? Because the likelihood of rejection is low. So, Lord have mercy. So when you look at somebody and you're trying to figure out, I'm coming for somebody right here. I got to look right at you, baby. When you look at this, you look at somebody and you're trying to figure out how in the world is he with her? All right, let me go to the next point. How? I tell you how. The rejection level is low. Some of y'all, not that this is bad, some of y'all, they like, man, she gonna shoot me down. And then they psych themselves out. So that's for the singles. All right. Rejection is something that people deal with, not just men, but women as well, in or outside of marriage. Rejection. Just because you're married, that doesn't mean you don't deal with rejection. How do you feel when your spouse says no? How do you feel when you don't get your way? So rejection can hurt. And not only can it hurt, it can haunt us. And all it takes is one good rejection. You're going to remember that for the rest of your life. That's it. You need one person to tell you, oh, Lord, Lord have mercy. It doesn't take much. You apply for this job. You feel like you got the credentials. You got the education. You know you can do it. I mean, you've been already doing it off the clock. Come on. You put in for it, you don't get it. That hurts, yes, but more than it hurts, it haunts you. Because sometimes it takes a moment for you to get back in the game and expose yourself to the potentiality of you being rejected again. I don't want to reopen that wound, so I want to apply for that type of job again. It's the rejection. You come up with an idea. You put it on social media. You put it on YouTube. You make videos. You're telling the whole world, it's time for me. 2023, it's time for me. Right. There we go. 2023, you're going to be sick of me. Right? But you don't get the response that you thought you would get. Now you got to deal with the fact that I got 5,000 followers and only 2 of them. So we oftentimes think, with the social media thing, like we oftentimes think that it's driven, like a lot of the way in which we go about life is driven by the likes, the shares, and things. And I think that that's the case. That's the case in many degrees, in many aspects. But also, it's the people that don't like it. That's the part that gets us. It's the lack of support. Because we interpret a lack of support as them rejecting us. So I got to move on. So what do we want to do? If we don't know how to handle it, it's going to hurt and it's going to haunt us. So we got to reframe rejection. I'm getting to the Bible in a second. Trust me. We got to reframe rejection. We got to reframe rejection. I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me. We have to reframe rejection. Rejection is protection, not punishment. Okay? I'll show you in Scripture. Rejection is painful, but it's not permanent. Rejection is painful, but it's not permanent. Rejection is oftentimes redirection. Here's how important it is. It's so important that Jesus dealt with it. Jesus went to his hometown. And the scripture says that he could not do many miracles there. They saw him and they said, isn't that the carpenter's son? They rejected him from what they knew him as the last time they seen him. People that he was connected to, people that he knew growing up, they only saw him as what they knew him as in the past. So Jesus had to deal with rejection. And if Jesus dealt with it, surely we'll have to deal with it. Not only did Jesus deal with it, but he gave the disciples a masterclass, and that's what we're going to talk about. Let's get into the Bible. He gave the disciples a masterclass on how to handle rejection. He says, Matthew 10:4, right here, it's on your screen. Watch this. Lord, this is good. Matthew 10:4 says this. Jesus says, if anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or that town. Shake the dust off your feet. He's saying, I'm getting ready to send you out on a mission. Y'all have been commissioned. Y'all have an assignment. You all are on post. Here is your great commission. I'm going to send you out. And I want you to go out and spread this great gospel that has changed your life and is going to change the lives of so many. He says, but don't get it twisted. The quality of what you're carrying should not be an indication of how they receive it. Don't view what you carry through the lens of how other people receive it. I'm going to say that one more time. Don't view what you carry through the lens of how other people receive it. Because whether or not they receive something is an indication of their value, not yours. Whether or not they receive what you carry is more of an indication about their value than it is yours. Some people don't have good enough sight to see what you carry as valuable. Yeah. Some people don't have the vision to see value. Let me give you an example. My brother came down. I told this story before to a group of people, but my brother came down, my younger brother, and my younger brother came down. We went to the store. And once we got to the store, one of his stores, I'm going to tell you what that means in a moment. It's one of his stores. So the stores that he likes, they have about 5 or 6 things on the wall that you can buy. Like a store that only have like 20 things in the whole store, oh, we in trouble. That's his store. That ain't my store. My store, you can pick something off the shelf. Like, his store's got stuff here. It's a few things. You walk in, it's like, that's all they selling? That's it. Got a jacket. He said, man, I came to get a jacket. I said, okay, got the jacket, put the jacket on. Jacket felt good. Jacket felt good. Jacket looked good. I'm ready for this to be my jacket. I love this jacket. Only problem is, I looked at the little tag, and it had somebody's social security number on it. And I was trying to figure out if it was already purchased. It was like the purchase order. They put it on there, put it aside, so they can come and claim it with their social security number. I thought that's how they did it. The jacket was way too much money for me to pay for it. But he looked at the jacket and said, oh, this is good. I'm getting this. Now, the issue was not the jacket, because I knew that the jacket fit good. It looked good. I really wanted the jacket. The only thing that made me not want the jacket was how much I would have to give up in order to get it. So the value of the jacket did not diminish. The issue was my sight. I didn't see the jacket right. I didn't think it was worth it. So some of us, what does that mean? That means sometimes you might be carrying something so valuable, and we're starting to look at the thing that we carry as if that's the thing that needs to be brought down. That doesn't need to be brought down. We just need another audience. Ooh, look at somebody say, I need another audience. I need another audience. Jesus says this, Matthew 10:14. He says, if anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, we're talking about goodbyes. Anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that town. Jesus, like, get up out of there. The first principle, and I want to help with rebounding from rejection. Here's a principle I think we can apply. He says, leave that town. If they don't appreciate your presence, allow them to observe your absence. If they don't appreciate your presence, just go ahead and allow them to observe your absence. Jesus says, if they're not welcoming to you, if they reject you, don't argue. He says, if they reject you, don't argue with them. Why are you trying to argue with them? You're trying to convince them that you're worth that price? Oh, no. Oh, no. Go get another jacket. Ooh, that's good to me. Go get another one. This one is valuable. He says, if they don't appreciate, so the principle is, if they don't appreciate you or your presence, allow them to observe your absence. Jesus told them, if they don't care to listen to your words, leave. That's what it says, right? Matthew 10, it says, if anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, sheesh, or listen to your words, leave. In other words, go where you're celebrated. Jesus knew this because he dealt with that in his ministry. I need you to understand something. If they don't listen to your word, that's number one. Number two, because I got to get out of here. I got a whole other passage of scripture I want to get to. Number two, if anyone, Jesus says, Matthew 10:14, if anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home, leave that town. In other words, principle number two is this: exercise selective speech for people who are exercising selective hearing. Exercise selective speech for people who exercise selective hearing. In other words, don't waste words with people who have explicitly expressed that they don't value them. Don't waste your energy giving ideas to an organization who has explicitly expressed that they have no desire to lean in the direction of your brilliant idea. But man, if we just do this and then, you know what? Don't even worry about it. So if your job values what you can do, if they don't value what you can do, you have no legitimate say. If your job does not value what you do and you have no legitimate say, that's a red flag. That's a rejection red flag. If your partner, oh God, I'm getting in trouble. Here we go. This is my first rant. If your partner let's go here first before y'all say I'm just pulling out stuff that's not in the scripture. The Bible, Matthew 10:14, if anyone, okay, man, woman, all right, boy or girl, will not welcome you or reject you or listen to your words, leave. Listen to your words. Are y'all here? I just need to make sure y'all here first. Okay, we here, all right. If they don't listen to your words, if your job doesn't value what you have to say, that's a rejection red flag. If your partner values your body but not your voice, that's a rejection red flag. I'm going to hide behind this computer. If your friends will take your handouts but not heed your advice so that they don't keep needing handouts. Oh, my. So your voice ought to be heard and honored, not ignored and argued. He tells them, so here's the principle number 2, exercise selective speech for people who exercise selective hearing, okay? Number 3, he tells them some action items. Here's what he says, in Matthew 10:14. He says, if anyone would not welcome you or listen to your words, it's about 5 things in here. I don't got time. Leave that home or town. And don't just leave, but shake the dust off your feet. This is what he tells them. He tells them, shake the dust off your feet. Why is that important? He's basically saying, principle number 3, don't bring their past rejection into your new direction. Don't bring that past rejection into your new direction. Don't do it. Deal with it. Hear me. Deal with it, grieve it, and heal from it. Deal with it, grieve it, heal from it. Face it now. Stop pretending that the rejection didn't do anything. It did. Grieve it too. There's going to be some seasons that it's going to be tough. It's going to be rough for you. You're not going to be ready to jump back into the career force. You're not going to be ready to jump back into a relationship. You're not going to be ready to jump straight back into a church. I dealt with some real hurt here. I can't just jump up and pretend like it didn't happen. It happened. Right? I came to people that I love with some information. They took that information. They didn't take it as seriously as I was feeling it. They tried to diminish my emotions at the moment, and that hurt. Because what I was going through hurt. So the principle here is don't bring the past rejection, though, into your new direction. Grieve it. Maybe we need to do a series entitled Good Grief. And the benefits of grief. Maybe we'll do that Mental Health Month, whenever that is. Don't bring, he says, grieve it. Grieve it. Grieve it. Grieve it, mourn it. Something died. Oh my God. Something died. Whenever there's a major transition in your life, you have to grieve it. And we don't know that. We just move on. I'm good. No, you're not. We're not good. We think just because, all right. Rant number 2. We think just because it's not hurting that we're healed. But healed is not, the definition of healed is not the absence of pain. Ooh, that's good. The definition of healed is not simply the absence of pain. The definition of healed deals with the functionality of what was once hurt. So it's numb, but you can't even use it like you used to. Right? So yes, you moved on to another job. You got another relationship. You got another boo. You got another wife. You got another church. But just because you moved on doesn't mean you healed from. So we have to learn to grieve. Okay, so that's whenever that month is. So watch this. So we have to do this because God doesn't want us to bring our past rejection into our new direction. We have to cry, but don't carry it. Right? And I'm not saying tomorrow, you deal with it today, then tomorrow. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's going to be a season of that. There's a time to mourn, right? Right? Ecclesiastes, it's all there. But then there's another season to where we get up. All right, I got a few minutes. Let's get into this. That was all my precursor on how to rebound from rejection. I got more than enough stuff, so if I go fast, y'all pray with me. Take out your Bible. This stuff is not going to be on the screen because I want to make sure that you're reading the Bible. You ain't going to come to midweek refresh and say, Pastor said a whole bunch of stuff, but we didn't really open the Bible. You lying. We're going to get right into we're going to get right into this. Genesis 12. Genesis 12. If you got Genesis 12, say, I got it. Genesis 12. All right, I need like 3 more I got it, and we're rolling. 2. I got it. There we go. 3. That's it. Genesis 12. Watch this. This is interesting. Watch this. The Lord said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. Here's what he says. Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on the earth will be blessed through you. So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Fast forward. Let's go to Genesis 13. Hang on to that. Genesis 13, 1 page over, 1 tab over. Everybody should be there now. The Bible says this, Genesis 13, verse number 1. So Abram went up from Egypt to Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. All right, tab back over, back to Genesis 12. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all can do this quick because y'all got Apples and Androids and all this stuff. All right, it's right there. Genesis 12, verse number 1 says this. The Lord said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household. Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make who? You a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. Let's tab back over, Genesis 13, verse number 1. So Abram went up from Egypt to Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Okay, verse number 3. Let's read the Bible. The Bible is good, y'all. So from the Negev, he went from place to place until he came to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had built an altar. Abram built an altar. There, at this altar that Abram built, called upon the name of the Lord. Okay? Stay with me. I'm reading the Bible. I'm going somewhere. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents. But the land could not support them while they stayed together. Oh my goodness. I got to slow down. But the land could not support them while they stayed together. But the land could not support them while they stayed together. For their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together. Oh, my Lord. Their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together. The land could not support them. Well, maybe the land could not support them because maybe Lot wasn't supposed to go in the first place. Right? Maybe Lot wasn't supposed to go. Minister Theo say definitely wasn't supposed to go. Right? I love it. But the land could not support them while they stayed together. I want you to, man, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together. They had too much. Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm gonna do this first time. This is the first time I'm doing this. I'm putting this on camera. This is the first time ever I'm gonna give somebody else that live in my house the credit for anything I'm getting ready to say. Pastor Sonia said this, right? Y'all better get it on wax. After that, anything she say belonged to me. The text says, but the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were too great, that they were not able to stay together. They had so much that they had to separate. You're thinking about possessions. You're thinking they had so many possessions. This is what she said. It's not so much about the possessions as much as it was the problems. So when we read this text, all we think about is the possessions that they had together. Oh, but when two people get together, we'll save this for February, babe. But when two people get together, they don't just bring possessions, they bring problems. They had too much going on. Abram had his stuff going on. He had to leave a place. He didn't know exactly what God was calling him. Imagine the anxiety that rests in that. And then Lot is like, yo, I'm rolling with you. I'm rolling with you. What does that mean, though? That means now Abram has a dependent. Now Abram has somebody dependent on him that he never, I don't get a tax return for you. I got to deal with having to provide when I don't even know where provision is coming from. Come on. They had too much. I'm getting to where we're going. I didn't lose my spot. We're talking about goodbyes. We're talking about rejection. Watch this. This is so important. My time is good. So Abram said to Lot, oh God, y'all done read ahead. Let's not have any quarreling between you and I, or between your herds and mine. For we are close relatives. I got to save that verse, Minister Thea. I got to say that verse for Family Sunday. I got to say that one right there. Let's not have no quarreling. Nobody ever said that at your family reunion. They said, who want trouble? That's what they said. Right? Who want problem? 2023, don't mess with me. Oh, Jesus. Here's what it says. For we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's just kiss and say goodbye. Let's part company. For if I go left, for if you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left. Number one, write this down. Focus more on your peace and your personal prosperity than possessions. Amen. Focus more on your peace and your personal prosperity than possessions. If you only concern yourself with winning, you'll actually end up losing. Amen. Sometimes rejection reveals, oh my goodness, I didn't even know what I just wrote. So before I go there, let's deal with this. Focus more on your peace and your personal prosperity than possessions. Abram told Lot, tell you what, it's not working. Obviously, we're going to have to say goodbye. So here's how we're going to do that. Abram did not just sit silently trying to hope Lot gets over it. This is maturity here. Maturity comes and says, all right, there's an issue here. Not just, I don't feel like they ain't going to take it right, and I don't know. No, he says, obviously there's an issue here. This is maturity. And since I see that there's an issue here, let's come together and figure out how we can have a good bye. How can we have a good bye? See, See, don't just think about relationship. I feel y'all. Y'all just thinking totally relational. When you go to work tomorrow and you're sitting there trying to figure out, all right, how can I get out of this and still be able to take care of my responsibilities? Right? Like, what can happen so that, right? And sometimes we're in position, Lord, I'll go here. Sometimes we're actually in positions to actually make those steps, but the ambiguity is paralyzing you. The fact that we don't know what's happening is paralyzing, or what would happen is a paralyzing agent, right? So here's what Abram does. Abram says, let's part ways. I don't care about what section of land you get. I don't care about the land. I want to maintain the love. You have it. Go ahead. Pick whatever you want. Go ahead. I'm going to be all right. The only reason I'm out here is because God sent me. And if God guided me out here, he's going to provide for me. So let's figure out what's going to work best for you. I'm worried because you just came with me. You're walking on my word. I'm walking on his word. So we focus more on our peace and personal prosperity than possessions. This is important. All right? All right? So sometimes, let me turn the corner a little bit. So sometimes rejection reveals the fact that we've lost redirection. We've lost direction, I'll say that like that. Sometimes it takes for some things to say goodbye to us for us to realize, I needed you to do that. Sometimes we need to get fired. I'll testify. There are some jobs I wouldn't have left, but I'm glad they let me go. Ooh, I'm glad they let me go. I'm glad the business shut down. I wasn't glad in the moment. I was worried in the moment. But now when I look back, I'm like, I'm glad that happened. Because sometimes God uses rejection as redirection. So I gotta hurry up. Genesis 13 and 10. Genesis 13 and 10 says this. So after Abram said, you look to the left, I'll go right. You go to the right, I'll go left. Whatever it is, you make the decision. Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan, verse number 10, plain of the Jordan toward Zoar was well watered. Said, look good. Like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Verse number 11, so Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out towards the east. Lot looked, it's almost like we took the kids to get pizza the other day, right? So we went to one of our favorite pizza spots and they dropped the pizza there. And our family goes crazy over thin slice, Lord have mercy, thin slice, like New York style, nice large slice. You can't even really pick it up without it falling, like, yeah. So my whole family, we just, Anyway, we get down, and it's like 2 slices left. And the way that they cut the pizza, one of them was like huge, and the other one was kind of slim. So it's me versus Jace. Right? It's me versus Jace. And I'm like, it's 2 slices, it's 2 of us. Surely the biggest slice is going to Daddy. Not so. This joker went and grabbed the biggest one. He can't even pick it up. It's cheese just sliding down. Why? Because he's 7 and he's only thinking about himself. That's okay. He's 7. He's immature. Why would he be, right? That's okay if you're 7. That's not okay if you're 37. You're 57. You're 67. You're 27. Lot was like, ooh, that look way better. You get that. You get what's left. Let me get the big slice. Right? So then, maybe it's revealing as to why God was like, yo, y'all got to break up. You don't even know that Lot has this characteristic because you're so connected. You don't even know that this thing here, this little red flag, or this thread is actually attached to something. Why wouldn't Lot say, I'm using Lot, you can put anything in that blank. Why wouldn't Lot say, you know what? You've been all right to me. You know what? You choose. You choose the right and I'll go left. Why wasn't it an argument on who's going to choose what first? But Lot was so entitled because he'd been receiving the whole time. You want me to choose? Oh, yeah, let me get the big slice. So thank you. So God exposed them with a choice. So I'm going to give you a choice. And I'm going to see what you choose. Now, Abram, you see that? You see that? That's coming back. Now, I don't have time to get into 14 and 15. But that right there, this verse number 11, this temperament is coming back. Because Lot going to get himself into a situation. Him and his wife. Lot is going to get himself into a situation that he shouldn't have gotten himself into if he would listen. But he don't listen. Lord have mercy. All right, verse number 2. I got to hurry up. I got 8 minutes. I don't know how in the world we're going to get through this. All right, so verse number 11, I don't know. I can't go over time. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out towards the east. The two men parted company. Principle number 2 here, rest knowing that God orchestrates entrances and exits. You got to rest in that. You got to rest in the fact that you might not know what's happening, but I'm resting in the fact that God is sovereign. Amen. Right? So the hurt of no longer being affiliated. Oh my goodness. Y'all gonna have to give me 2 minutes over. I don't know how much. So he was, no, we gotta go. Okay. All right. Right. This is good. Take your time. Okay. All right. We're gonna stay here until 12 midnight tonight. All right, y'all. All right, Pastor. To my goodbye. Goodbye. Right? So imagine that pain, again, rejection, that pain, that hurt would not only hurt, but it'll haunt. It not only haunt us, but it'll hurt us. But the hurt of no longer being affiliated is never worse than the agony of staying affiliated. The hurt of no longer being affiliated is nothing close to the hurt of staying affiliated when God is orchestrating. Did you hear what I just said? So godly goodbyes, godly goodbyes are heavenly hellos. Hello. So we're reframing rejection. Godly goodbyes are heavenly hellos. So you don't walk into unless you leave from. So we've got to learn not to mourn so much the goodbye, but we also have to learn how to celebrate the hello. Faith says not just goodbye, but faith also says hello. Goodbye. The art of goodbyes is a prophetic declaration. Lord, I'm trying to teach on this Wednesday night. The art of goodbyes is a prophetic declaration. The fact of the matter is that by saying goodbye to something, you are prophetically declaring that God is getting ready to tell you hello to something else. Lord have mercy. So if you want to walk into something new, you've got to be able to walk away from something old. I wish I had 10 people that would say, God, I thank you for the godly goodbyes and I honor you for the heavenly hellos. All right. The heavenly hellos. I'm done. Yes, I'm in on time. Yes. Abram lived in Canaan. Lived in the land of Canaan where Lot lived, verse number 12, because I got to read the Bible. Y'all going to say, Pastor didn't read the Bible. Lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tent near Sodom. Now, the people of Sodom were wicked and they were sinning greatly against the Lord. All right, here's where we're going to hang out. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had departed from him, the Lord this is Sunday morning message. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had departed from him, look around from where you are, to the north and the south, to the east and the west. And all of the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. You missed the shout. I know it's not Sunday, and we're not supposed to be shouting, we're teachers, so let me bring it down. I want you to see something. The Lord said to Abram, when? After Lot, after Abram said goodbye, that is when the Lord spoke. Look around, and not only did the Lord speak to him, watch what he says. Watch this. Look around from where you are, to the north, to the south, to the east, and to the west. Hold on. Abram just told Lot, you pick. Where you want to go? The east? I'll go west. You want to go west? I'll go east. You want to go left? I'll go right. You want to go right? So God is giving Abram a blank check, even on what Lot chose. He's saying, Abram, I want you to look around. And everything you lay your eyes on, I'm giving it to you and your offspring. I will make, verse number 16, I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Lord have mercy, here's the point. Verse number 17, go, walk through the length and the breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. Go, walk through the length and the breadth of the land, everywhere your foot shall tread. Walk through the length and the breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. Your supply and your surplus is on the other side of goodbye. Your surplus and your supply is on the other side of goodbye. It was not until Abram said goodbye to Lot. Here's the point that we want to get to. It's not that Lot was doing anything wrong himself. It's easy to say goodbye when they do something to offend you. But can you leave good for great? Can you say goodbye to something that's good because you know that God has something greater? It's easy to say goodbye to something that's bad, something that's dysfunctional, something that's toxic. But can you say goodbye to a good, oh God, can you say goodbye to a good thing for a great thing? Can you say goodbye to a good job for a great one? Can you say goodbye to a good boyfriend, girlfriend? When I say good, I'm saying okay, normal, not horrible, just decent. You know, we got a little drama, but hey, you know, job is a little whatever, but you know, hey, you know, I don't really like going there, but it does pay the bills, so I'll just stay here. But what if surplus is on the other side of goodbye? What if what God has promised you is on the other side of you saying goodbye to something